Hello guys, Omni here. We are back to pick up with this week's episode of Batwoman. So I just found out, just looking ahead a little bit, that right now the next episode does not have a release date, unless that's changed. Right now it seems to be TBD. So who knows when the next episode of this is going to be. I know The Flash is expected to return on April 7th, but given everything going on right now, that could even be pushed back, but we'll have to just wait and see. So right now, all these CW Arrowverse shows are kind of playing it by ear. But that being said, we are going to talk about the episode we do have, and that was last night's episode of Batwoman. So if you haven't seen it, be sure to tune out and come back once you have. So again, another great episode. And honestly, in this episode, I really thought Ruby Rose kind of kicked it up a little bit, just a little bit. She's still, for the most part, I would say the weakest actor on this show, but this episode was one of the first times I really felt the chemistry between her and Rachel Skarsten, between Kate and Alice, as they're kind of talking throughout this episode, and it's very compelling, and I actually really liked it. Again, of course, Rachel Skarsten is stealing the show. Alice is just a treat to watch at all points, no matter what she's doing. Even when she was just playing Beth, I thought it was just really grounded and real and just well done. But we pick up right after the end of last episode with the Kane family burying August Cartwright's body. And, Alice uses that to kind of bait against them, as, blackmail against them, because she wasn't involved in him or burying him really at all. It was all them who had their hands on him. It was their DNA, Kate and Jacob's DNA, that was all over him. So she kind of coerces them into helping her hunt down Mouse. Jacob has no say in it and definitely wants to take no part in it whatsoever. But Alice in this episode is able to conceivably convince Kate that she would help her find Mouse, playing to their sisterhood, playing to their bond, playing to the fear toxin and what that meant and what it actually showed her. And it really got emotional. I really got it. This is like the first time I felt like, well, not the first time. It was everything prior to her actually killing Catherine. I was just like, I'm on board with this right now. I feel bad for her. I did. And in this, I really started to pull me back to that. But that being said, Kate agrees to help her, and they just sell it. There's a little moment where they're talking about making this promise that if Kate helps her break out Mouse or find Mouse, that nobody gets hurt along the way and that they'll take care of it all. So they're able to actually track Mouse, but before they're able to actually get him, the Crows show up and capture and arrest him, take him back to Arkham. So then the deal becomes Kate and Alice have to break him out of Arkham. And how Alice convinces Kate is really interesting, and I like the way they did it. It's a lot of fun. This episode's really fun. Just seeing a lot of Alice and Kate playing off of each other a lot more in this episode, I really enjoyed that. And only a teeny bit of Batwoman in it. Only one. We get to see the suit, I think, like one time, and it's in the beginning. Kate really afraid now that she's actually killed somebody to go even further across that line, that now that line might become normal for her. And she even almost overly brutalizes the street thug in the beginning of the episode just because of that latent anger and adrenaline in her just kind of coming back up, and it scares her. She doesn't want to become Alice. And that's the thing they are kind of playing with between the two of them, is that duality between them, their twinship, you're not that different, you and I kind of thing. But she does agree on the consideration that Alice does not kill anybody and that they do leave at the end. The promise that Kate makes is that she promises to reunite Mouse and Alice. Remember that, because they do break into Arkham. They do break in. They get in, and there's some great sequences. There's this great banter back and forth between them, especially with Alice actually upholding her promise and not killing the doctor that she actually has on her murder list, like her Arya level murder list of people she wants to get her vengeance upon for what they've done to either her or Mouse. lets him go because of a promise. And she comes back and catch and help Kate in the middle of a scuffle that Kate's actually getting a little overwhelmed with. And she calls for her to throw the knife, which is a callback to something earlier in the episode where Alice is messing around with her butterfly knife and taunting Kate with it. But she chucks the knife at Kate, catches it, and she jabs the guard in the leg with it. Great back and forth banter. They do make it to Mouse. Kate lets her in because it's one of those locks that requires 2 keys and 2 people to turn them at the same time to open these doors. He got taken because he escaped once already. He got moved to the high security, high risk section of Arkham Asylum in the basement, which requires this extra security, which also is why Alice needed her help to break him out this time because he's on a much more secure level. They get to him. They open it up. And as Alice is struggling to get him free, Kate shuts the door and locks her in there, revealing that Jacob was a part of it as well, that he was unknowingly tracking them, unknowingly to Alice was tracking them and working to set this up to catch Mouse, to bait them into this situation, to capture them both. And the pain, the betrayal, the just fear and hurt on Alice's face, played perfectly by Rachel Scarsden in this moment. It honestly, it broke my heart, man. And, Ruby sells it pretty well too, with the mixed feeling she has for betraying her sister and manipulating her like this. But then she does play on it. She's like, I did what I promised. I promised to reunite you. And she did, just in Arkham. And I was like, power plays. Just seeing them work together was just such fun. And it just, it's just gone again. Oh, but we have some B plots in this that were actually kind of interesting. Sophie is investigating the mole at the Crows, who may have been covering up evidence in line with the judge that was imprisoned earlier or whatever. I can't remember all the details, but she was investigating the, Dirty Crows and what happened with the person that may have framed the person that went to jail, Reggie, for the murder of Lucius Fox, and maybe some other crimes that Crows have arrested people for that were not valid. And she's investigating this, and she finds that she had an attempt made on her life, because maybe she's involved with it, maybe she's got some connection to it, but they did arrive to somebody who they were tracking this down to, who had already been killed, and the sniper takes another shot at Sophie. But just in time, she's saved by Julia Pennyworth showing back up. And, they start to investigate this together, finding a safe house, putting Sophie away now that her life's in danger. And, Mary and Lucas go to the trial of Reggie to find out, what's going to happen with that case, because now with all the evidence about it possibly being tampered with coming to light, they have to, he's there to see if the person that was committed for killing his father and arrested for it is going to go free or not, because that's something really close and personal to him. And because of all the evidence, all of the things they've come to light with the manipulation of the judges and all of that, and the pressuring, the blackmail and all that crap, he gets let go. And Luke is broken, distraught by this. And he goes so far as to stalk the guy, haunt him out. And he comes out and he confronts him on the street. And the guy really breaks down and talks about his father, what happened in that situation back then, and talking about the son. And I can't remember the actor who plays Luke, his name right now, but my Lord, he has a great emotional moment in this where he's breaking down, where this guy is telling him all the things that even in this terrible moment, what happened in the store before he died, he was talking nothing but greatness about what his son was going to go on to do with and change the world by going to MIT and all this stuff, and how things that he would have only known if he was not pressuring him and things like that. And that he was, all he remembers from that night is being unconscious, waking up with a gun in his hand where he doesn't know where it came from, and blood, and Lucius Fox's blood all over him. And just before it gets any farther than that, Luke is also crying, tearing up in this moment. There's a red dot sight that appears on his chest, and the guy gets blown away. by the, I assume, presumably the sniper that was going after Sophie and the previous person that was killed as well, who turns out to be the owner of the shop that in which the murder took place in the first place. Somebody's cleaning house and everybody knows about the Lucius Fox murder. So we're getting some intrigue built around that and who or what organization or person might be involved in it. Towards the episode when Sophie calls Jacob about what they've learned, same thing happens. A red dot sight appears on his chest, and just before he gets shot at, he notices it and takes a dip cover behind a car and is able to spot the shooter and hit him. Unfortunately, killing him because he's not able to get any information. He's like, who hired you? Why are you trying to kill us? Blah, blah, blah. No answers. No answers given whatsoever. So we have some interesting conflicts that are set up between this going forward. Because now, again, Alice, once again betrayed by Kate, having her faith in Kate tested, her sisterly bond once again broken with her sister. Just, I don't know what's going to happen there. I don't know how many times these two can kind of betray each other before they just both give up. But I want to see Alice redeemed. You know, she is at some points not all the way a villain in the comics, at least. She is a little bit of an anti-hero here or there, being on the Suicide Squad at one point, among other things. You know, it's not a pure redemption story, but I mean, she does kind of come back around, and I felt like eventually we're going to work that way, but maybe not this season. I don't know, man. But I think this was a fun episode. A lot of the fun coming between, of course, Rachel Skarsten and Ruby Rose's banter and just chemistry playing off of each other. Of course, Rachel doing the legwork, a lot of that, and I do see over the progression of this, Ruby Rose is getting better at emoting and kind of connecting with these emotions. Even with Jacob, she's doing a lot better in this. I don't know, maybe it was just this episode, maybe it was the director handling this episode. I don't know. See, for the most part, I really enjoyed this. Of course, the B plots the parts with Julia and Sophie didn't really get me too much. It's the bits with Mary and Lucas I find really entertaining. I really like what they're doing with those two characters. I've liked Luke from the beginning in this show. But I think this season's really starting to ramp up a little bit. I don't know. That's my thoughts on this episode. What did you guys think about this episode? What do you think about, the interactions between the characters? Where do you think it's going to go from now? Any ideas who or why Lucius Fox had to be taken out in the way that he was? I don't know, man. Did they piece together he was close in with the bat? I don't know. We'll see. What's your theories? Let's sound off down in the comments. Carry on the conversation after the video. And guys, if you like this video, support the channel by liking, commenting, subscribing. And I will catch you guys in the next video whenever the next episode of Batwoman occurs. Everybody stay safe out there. Be healthy. Take all the precautions necessary. Take this thing seriously. And I hope you all are okay. And I really appreciate you guys. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody.